What's up, guys? It's your boy Abdullah from Ather Gaming, and I'm coming at you guys with a Salamangreat deck profile. This is my updated deck, and I know we just had the YCS, so everybody kind of saw just how powerful Salamangreats were. This deck I want to bring to you is because of my success at our OTS championship. I came first place, and I actually didn't drop a single match to anybody. I only dropped one game throughout the tournament. I went 16-1 on that run.
So you could say you're undefeated, never lost.
Undefeated, never lost. Shout out LeVar Ball. As always, we shout him out every single video. It's because he is the greatest basketball player ever. Anyways, guys, we'll get right into the deck profile. The list is like very different to what a lot of the lists that people are playing. We're not relying on cards like Artifact Sanctum and things like that to really like show what our deck is capable of. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that, give a different insight on it. And also there's a lot of different cards in the extra deck on the side as well. So we're going to get right into it. The first card we play is the triple Lady Debug. Lady Debug is a fantastic card. I know that a lot of people have been cutting it in favor of some other cards or have argued for cutting the card. Flame Buffalo is a nice alternative. However, I would play both of them together. I chose not to play the Flame Buffalo just because I feel like it's only really good if you have other Cyberse monsters in your hand that you want to discard, and it's only like super strong when you can draw into like powerful cards like Sanctum and things like that.
Or a Gazelle.
Or Gazelle, which we don't play. We don't play Sanctum and stuff. So it's like, instead I'd rather just be able to search. And if you guys just search the card that I'm looking for. And if you guys watch the combo video, I showed you a combo that just requires Lady Debug and goes +4. So if you haven't seen that combo, like check out that video, guys. Like it'll teach you a lot about the deck. So that's why I decided to stick with the Lady Debug. I did find that I was siding out one copy, so I would always like stick to 2. So maybe I will bump it down to 2 and bump up something else like maybe a Foxy. But yeah, so we play the triple Lady Debug. It's a starter, the stratos of our deck. It's really powerful, and it usually searches out Salamangreat Gazelle, our Armageddonite. There's not much you could say about this card other than the fact that it's insane. Gazelle's ability lets us special summon him from hand when a Salamangreat monster is sent to the graveyard, and when he hits the field, he can Foolish Barrel any Salamangreat card, and that utility is just insane. And the interesting thing is that Gazelle also does that when he's summoned to the field. So it doesn't have to be in his own effect. Like, you could normal him, you could special him off of Mirage Stalio, Will of the Salamangreats, you could trigger this guy. So the card is really, really insane. And just by himself, like, again, there's another combo that I showed where you just open the Gazelle and Gazelle turns into a +4 on his own. I was playing in the tournament, and I'll do a little bit of like a quick tournament report later on. I was playing against one of my buddies, and he was playing this insane Goki, like Cyberstein list. And we were grinding out, and I had no cards, and I drew into the Gazelle like off the circle.
Oh, so you're good.
Yeah, I'm a good player, but I mean, like my whole deck is really good, and I was gonna draw a really powerful card regardless. But I just happened to draw the Gazelle, and I went just like +4, and it was just like game from that point. So I think it's like super. Like the card is nuts. Like this is insane. Maybe it gets an OTS salty. And then we play Gazelle's best friend, Salamangreat Spinny. Now Spinny, its effect is you can discard him, buff a monster by 500 if you control a Salamangreat, and if he's in the grave, you control a Salamangreat that's not Spinny, you special him out. He combos with Gazelle really well because he sends himself to the grave, helps us special out Gazelle, and really continue our combos. Spinny is used in every single combo with the deck. Actually, there are some combos because of what we play that can function without Spinny, but Spinny just makes everything like so much better. So it's like this card is nuts, and it's so key to what we have to do. So we always want to have Spinny, and like Flame Buffalo is really nice if you can like pitch the Spinny off the Buffalo, you draw, reveal the Gazelle. Like that's really nice, but like this just helps us get to the missing piece of whatever these are. So it acts as like an extra copy of Spinny. Like I'd play more Gazelles if I could, and Debug essentially is another copy of Gazelle. So like I just think that's my reasoning for Debug. I don't agree with people who think the card sucks. I know that it's vulnerable to hand traps, but like not everything's perfect, and the upside to Debug is insane. And anyways, Spinny is insane. This guy's an extender, and it's a card that we really want to see. So now we move on to some of the other Salamangreats, and we play 2 Foxy. Now, I was playing 3 Foxy before, and I know a lot of lists are playing 3 Foxy. I just thought that I never really needed the third one. Like, I just want the one to normal summon, to excavate, and then the same one in grave. So I think you could, like, realistically, you only need 1 Foxy ever, which is to say that I never want to open multiples of this card. I just want to open the one. So that's why I chose to play 2. Also, for, like, deck constraints, I wanted to, cut down, so I play the second Foxy. Foxy's insane because she or he, whatever, area zeros, adds a Salamangreat card and just lets you, like, plus off of that. You go Foxy and you have Gazelle in hand and, like, you have the potential to really pop off because you can get a circle or you can get like a trap card, and it's really useful. Again, like Foxy's one of the better Salamangreats, but we don't want to open multiples of this card, like so we only want to see the one. Which is why we just play it at 2. It's still a very useful name, and this ability to special itself justifies us playing more than 1. So yeah, that's 2 Foxy. We go into some of the 1-ups that we play. We play the Salamangreat Falco. Now, Falco's insane for a few reasons. Reason number 1 is when he's sent to the grave, you can set a Salamangreat spell or trap from your graveyard to the field. And that's super useful in like when it comes to setting cards. Like you can play around certain like negation effects, like Gamma or Effect Veiler on your Sunlight Wolf. You can just set the trap with the Salamangreat Falco. And also he's like super useful to set other stuff like Fusion of Fire. Like maybe you need one other material to get to the Fusion of Fire play. So you'll like set the Fusion of Fire off the Falco, Sunlight Wolf add back the circle, and get enough juice to be able to kill your opponent. Also, what Falco is super useful for is his ability to special himself from the graveyard by bouncing a Salamangreat monster you control. You don't have to like bounce the monster to fully resolve the effect. So meaning like I can Falco bounce an extra deck monster. Falco won't summon, but like I get that extra deck monster back, so it's like really useful if like you're running low on resources. Falco can help you recycle like in a way, but usually you'll be bouncing the Gazelle with him, summoning out the Falco. And the last thing is that Falco is a level 4, so he combos with Jaguar. Any when we open the regular 2-card combo in the deck, you can end on Abyss Dweller, which just breaks the back of the mirror match, and of Danger Thunder, which is one of your harder matchups. Falco lets us do that. Speaking of Jaguar, we play the 1 Jaguar. You only ever need the 1. This card is really powerful in the deck. It has Pierce for whatever reason. Like it's kind of funny to say that it has Pierce, but the piercing ability is actually super useful because you can do like cool stuff like Heat Leo, target a monster that has more than 1800 attack to buff up your Jaguar and then attack into something, to like win in time, or like Pierce a Tsuchinoko for perfect game. And the craziest thing about Jaguar is like he lets you recycle your resources by shuffling back a Salamangreat monster in your graveyard to special him to a pointer of a Salamangreat monster you control. So it helps us trigger a Sunlight Wolf. Just being a level 4 means that he combos with the Falco to make the Dweller. And just being able to recur himself every single turn means he's a threat. He's in the graveyard and he's like almost always a card basically. So the card is really insane. And then we play the last one of Salamangreat Mole. Now, Mole is a card that we've been testing for a little bit, and it's just come up to be really powerful and really useful. This is the tech spot, so if you wanted to play like Mirror or you wanted to play the Foul, like this would be the slot that you would play it in my opinion. Mole is really useful for two reasons. His first effect is that if you link summoned previously in the turn, you can special Mole to a link zone that you control, like a link zone that your monster points to. So he's really useful because sometimes like you'll get your Spinny DD Crowed and like you won't be able to do the Gazelle play, but if you have the Mole in hand, you go Gazelle and Bale links into the Sunlight Wolf, special the Mole from your hand because you link summon to add back Gazelle, then link this Mole and the Sunlight Wolf into the second Sunlight Wolf. So if you don't have access to Sanctuary, or you don't have access to Spinny, this lets you do that. And then the secondary effect, like when it resolves, it's almost always game. You can shuffle back 5 Salamangreat cards from your graveyard back into the deck and draw 2 cards. This card Avarices. The unfortunate thing is you have to control no monsters or to use that ability, but like that comes up. He also has other utility in the fact that he has 0 attack to makes like Heat Leo just a little bit more impactful. But it's really just being able to special himself. That's why we play him and not for the Avarice ability. Foul specials when you special or normal Salamangreat monster, but this is kind of just like, okay, you know what? Like you DD crowed me, that stopped my line. I'm just gonna special a Mole and like punish you for that, which is why we play the card. The card's really powerful, but you could obviously replace with something else. So far, he's just been fantastic for me though. So that was all the Salamangreat. Fantastic. And we're going to get into something that's also very fantastic very soon. That's all that we play for Salamangreats and other Cyberse monsters. I have been testing Cyberse, the Flame Buffalo, and maybe it'll see an appearance in like a future deck, but for now, this is what I'm playing, and I'm completely happy with this list. As I said, I saw success with it, and I don't think I would change too much. Now we're going to go into the portion of the deck that really revolves, what takes advantage of our Salamangreat cards, and it's like the hand trap and the utility engines that we were playing in our deck, and it is really predicated by Fantastical Dragon Phantasme. I had to win the mat when I knew the dude was on it. Thanos. This card is insane, and the reason why he's so powerful is just being able to hand sculpt is super useful to see some powerful cards that we want to play. And the meme of sometimes, not all the time, Thanos makes that even more consistent. It's just insane. In the mirror match, having a 2400 body that prevents targeting is really powerful, and it just helps you get to your hand traps to stop your opponent's play and really push through them. And against Sky Striker, this card by himself almost wins that matchup exclusively. Striker is I'd say kind of difficult, but if you see your Thanos, it becomes super favorable. And just being able to summon a free body for 2400 really helps with OTKing. This card is insane. He's worth his price tag. there's no surprise that Thanos is played at 3 of in this deck. Now we play the hand traps. We play the triple Ash Blossom. We play 3 Ash just because this is the most generic hand trap, blah, blah, blah. You know, you guys have heard that forever. In our deck, it has added synergy being a level 3 fire monster that also has 0 attack for the Heat Leo. The craziest thing is adding this back with Sunlight Wolf, which I did multiple times just to really put the nail in the coffin in the game. Ash is insane. Thanos helps us see Ash, makes Ash even better. Now we go into some 2 of hand traps that I'm playing. And again, when I was talking about Thanos, is being able to play like 2 of certain hand traps that you want to see. And Thanos helps you dig for those cards, which is why I chose to only play them at 2, just for the sake of space and the sake of utility, I guess, or just having like a wider range. So the first 2 we play are Effect Veiler. This card is really powerful. I was playing this at 3 before, but I've bumped it down to 2. For a few reasons. I think that like Veiler is super powerful, however he does target. So if we're seeing more and more Thanoses, Veiler becomes less and less impactful. But being able to, you know, cut through a chain block on a Skull Dread against Guard Dragon Thunder, which is one of your harder matchups, like is super useful. Veiler is very powerful just for his utility as well. And that's why we've chosen to play this card. Like we have limited room for our hand traps. So cutting down to 2 really helped us up our other hand traps. Also, he's not a once per turn effect. So drawing multiple Veilers off Thanos or keeping a Veiler off Thanos is super useful as well. Moving on to the next hand trap we play are Ghost Ogres. I know I have mismatched rarities, guys. If you guys have another secret, let me know. I'll definitely pick it up off of you. Ghost Ogre is insane, and there's a few reasons why. So when me and my brother were testing the deck, we came to the conclusion that if you Ghost Ogre the Lady Debug on the normal summon, it's a blowout. Like, you almost always win that game because they can't trigger the Gazelle. They kind of have to pass unless they have Will or Monster Reborn to really play through it, which is why I decided to play 2 Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre is also super impactful against Isolde decks, just being able to Ogre the Isolde, Ogre the Summon Sorceress really puts them in a bad spot. Against the Danger Thunder, Ogreing the Agripane kind of just ends their turn. Like, you Ghost Ogre Agripane, they lose 2 Link material. Usually it's just, you know, they stop on some weird play. Like, they can still make a Colossus, and Colossus is not difficult to out. Colossus with multiple negates, that's a different story. So Ogre does that. It also has applications against Sky Striker, where you Ogre the multi-roll. They can't recur their advantage. You just kill them. So this card was super powerful. Only played 2 because, again, it was a hard once per turn, and it didn't have the coverage that Ash Blossom has. And so playing our Thanos lets us see our Ghost Ogre. It's insane again in the mirror match as well. Even against Altergeist application. And then we play our Spicy Tech, DD Crow. This saw play at Dusseldorf, and I think it's going to see even more play now. This hand trap is insane against the mirror match, crowing the Spinny, crowing the trap target that they send with a Gazelle, crowing the Jack Jaguar, crowing Balinks. Like, in the mirror match, this card is nuts, but it has added applications against other decks as well. Being able to crow the Ray. So Sky Striker, I think, only really beats you if they have Ray. If they don't have access to Ray, you just win the game. And so because we play DD Crow, we crow the Ray. They're really sad. And on their turn, like, we can crow the Engage that Kagari would attempt to add back. Or if they have the 1 Widow Anchor and they're committing to a line of play where they only have the 1 negate through the Anchor, we just crow the Anchor away so they can't set off the multi-roll, and we're just laughing. This card is nuts. Like, again, I only play 2 because, against some matchups, it literally does nothing. I really wish I could get away with playing 3, but I felt like 2 was correct. Again, playing Thanos, like, you see the 2 ofs that we have, playing Thanos lets us get away with that, and DD Crow is just nuts. Like, this card is broken. And the final 2 of hand trap we play is the Infinite Impermanence. Again, I told you guys before that you can cut Impermanence for something else. I am leaning towards playing cards like the Forbidden Chalice, just because of the Artifact Sanctum build that is becoming more and more popular, and chalicing their Scythe on summon is actually hilarious and just really sucks for them. So Infinite Impermanence is really good. Again, this is a card that I've been wanting to cut. I wanted to try Droll and Lockbird, Ghost Bell, Ghost Reaper, Winter Cherries, but I decided to just stick with the Impermanence just to be able to, play through the Skull Dread. But as I played with it, I realized that, like, one of the worst parts about Impermanence is that if you draw it off Thanos, it's a dead card because you have Thanos on board. But again, the card is so powerful going first and going second, and it actually helped me win my top 8 match against Lunalights, sending it in a zone, and then he couldn't Lunalight Wolf me to kill me. So it was super useful for that. Again, I don't think you need to play this card in this deck. It's just it's cute. Like, it's really nice. If you play the Trap Trick variant, different story. You gotta play 3. But for us, we play 2. And, like, as you see, like, our hand trap count in general, guys, like, we play a lot of hand traps, and that's all because of Thanos. He helps us see what we want to see, and I picked these hand traps to counteract my local metagame. So you guys could do the same when it comes to YCS or regional or your locals. We can fine tune the deck, which is what I love about this deck. We'll move on to the next cards we play. The 3 Salamangreat Circle. The card is insane. Helps us see an extra copy of whatever monster we're playing. So with Debug, we're essentially playing 9 Gazelles. We are going to see our Gazelle. and that's what this card does. It also helps, like, we can reset this off of Falco, or like if we have a Roar, we can reincarnate, like when we reincarnation summon, we set the Roar and then use a Sunlight Wolf to set this, just to guarantee one other card on our opponent's turn. Its secondary effect has also come up for me, where it makes it immune to the effects of other monsters. So I'll like circle, now you can't spin back my thing through the Unicorn, you can't out it, you gotta really try to kill it in battle. The card is nuts. We play 3 of, and we'll always play 3. Being able to chain him and chain this card in draw phase and being able to play around Joel and Lockbird is also really useful. It combos really nicely with the Lady Debug, where you normal the debug, search the card, they droll you, you chain this, and now the droll just kind of fizzles and does nothing. Now that's 3 Salamangreat circles. It's searchable by milling through Gazelle, and Foxy can add it, which is really broken. We play the 1 of Salamangreat Sanctuary. This is kind of like a Garnet. We really need to play it though, because it's so powerful when it hits the field, but we really want to search it off the Bailing, so we don't want to play 2 because we always have access to it and it's kind of a dead card. But the card is super powerful. It lets us reincarnation summon, and if you watch the YCS, you know that the Salamangreat player had game in time if he activated the other effect of Salamangreat Sanctuary, which when a monster battles, you pay 1k life, or when your Salamangreat monster battles, you pay like 1k life, and you get to target one link monster you control, gain life equal to its attack, and then make its attack 0. You know, if the guy did it in the finals, he would have gained and he would have won, but like, it's such an such an obscure effect that you don't really notice it. Anyways, the card is really powerful. We need to play it. We play the Will of the Salamangreat. My last profile, I wasn't playing it, and it really was a last-minute inclusion, and I'm really happy that I did. This card acts as a Call of the Mummy, acts as a Monster Reborn, and a Soul Charge. Basically, once per turn, you can special summon a Salamangreat monster from your graveyard or your hand, and also once per turn, if you control a Salamangreat monster that was Reincarnation linked, send it to the graveyard, summon monsters equal to its link rating, basically. You can only use 1 effect, obviously, per turn. This card is nuts, and I really realized how powerful it was when I thought of it as like another threat. Like, I make a board, and I'll just play the Will, get a monster, and now you really have to out my Will, because if you don't, I'm going to generate so much advantage. It helped me make a board load play. Like, this card is nuts. Like, I definitely play it. I really want to bump it up, but I feel like just even at 1, like, sometimes it feels like it's not even necessary. This deck is so powerful, but I would definitely play Will. The card is really powerful. Now moving on, we play the 1 of Fusion of Fire. This card is so insane. Like, I can't believe I wasn't playing it before. Just being able to see, I look at Fusion of Fire as a Kaiju Slumber in the mirror match, where I'm wiping your board and I'm summoning a big threat on my side of the field that you have to deal with. And it just, you go second, your opponent makes a mediocre play, and you just kill them because of Fusion of Fire. This helps you OTK, and it helps you save time, like, against decks that are going the distance and you want to get to game 3. Fusion of Fire helps you do that by just ending the game right away. The card is nuts. The next card we play is Call by the Grave. I saw a lot of lists that weren't playing this. I think it's absolutely incorrect. You go +5, +4 so easily in this deck that playing 1-for-1s that are super powerful like Call by the Grave just makes so much sense, because they really are more than 1-for-1. It trades with a card, it trades with a hand trap, helps you push through your plays. But another cute thing you can do in the mirror match is like resolve your Sunlight Wolf, then Call by the Grave their Sunlight Wolf, on your end phase, because then it turns off Sunlight Wolf on their turn, but doesn't turn it off for your turn. Against Sky Striker, again, you stop their Ray and you just win that matchup. So you Call by the Grave the Ray and you just blow them out from that. If you see this card, you just win against that deck. And it's just super useful. It acts as a pseudo trap card. I hate losing to cards like Red Reboot, so I'm not playing a lot of traps. And Call by the Grave functions in that same role. This card is really nuts. I wouldn't talk too much about it, just because I talk a lot about all my cards. But at the event, I didn't see a lot of people playing this, which was kind of disappointing. I think the card is insane. I think everybody should play this at 3 in this deck. The next card we play, I wasn't playing this on my last list, Pot of Desires. I think this card is absolutely mandatory in this deck. The way I've heard people explain this deck to me is that it's kind of a combination between Zoo and Pendulum Magicians, where Zoo, you have all that recursion, blah, blah, blah. But Pendulum Magicians in the sense that after you do your combo, you play so many 3-ofs in your deck that once you've comboed, Desires is just a free +1, which is just insane. Why wouldn't you take that? You don't even care about your banish pile. Hitting the Jaguar sucks. Okay, whatever. You play through Falco. Sometimes you get unfortunate with it. That's just Desires. I'll take that +1 every single time. The card is insane in this deck. You need to play it, and just being able to full combo, going +4 and then Desiring for another plus, and you go +5 on your turn that's insane. And again, if you brick, you have Pot of Desires to get you out of that brick. And if you didn't brick, you don't even need to play the card, right? It's like Jeff Jones said, I'd rather have Pot of Desires and not need it than not have Pot of Desires and really need it. So that's why you play it. Play the 1 of Foolish Burial. Card's insane. Card's overpowered. I don't know, man. Eventually ban it, I guess. This guy lets us trigger Gazelle by milling Spinny. Lets us send Jaguar to the graveyard. Helps us send Falco to the graveyard. You could Foolish Ash, then add it back to your hand with Sunlight Wolf. Yeah, if you need access to Ash Blossom. So this is super useful. Last 2 cards we play are the 2 traps. Roar and Rage. You set Roar when you're playing against the mirror match, when you're going blind, you just set it because it's also super powerful. But Rage is really what breaks the mirror because you interrupt their normal summon, they just lose the game, and then you set the Roar, and the next turn you have Roar and Rage. These cards are super powerful. I can see the reason why people are bumping them. If you're playing Trap Drake, you can bump this to 2. If you want to play a heavier Trap variant, you can bump the Roar to 2. Personally, I think 1-1 is fine. We're not relying on our traps. It's just a guaranteed negate that we set. So the cards are just super useful. You're going to be recycling this and recycling this anyway. So just the 1-1 is fine. That's the deck, guys. Play 42 cards in deck. It kills me to playing more than 40, but I couldn't cut anything, and I think this was super powerful and it performed super well over the course of the event. We'll go into the extra deck now. We play the triple Balinks. I don't want to have a conversation with whether 3 or 2 is correct. You need to play 3. 3 will come up all the time, and having access to 3 lets you brick and still play. So we play this card at 3. An interesting thing about this card is that we have that it can't play through Dweller just because it doesn't activate in the graveyard. Then we play the triple Sunlight Wolf. This is our Kagari. This card is broken, and I use it to add back Ash all tournament long. Sunlight Wolf is busted. I don't want to talk too much more about the Salamangreat links. I talked about it in the other deck profile as well. Play double Heatleo, Fusion of Fire, Heatleo, Best Friends, help you OTK. Against Striker, you make double Heatleo, shuffle back to back row. Double Mirage Stalio, the Invoker of our deck, helps us answer other threats that we just bounce back. You could probably cut this to 1 because you can recycle it, but I think the card is insane. And in the mirror match, you interrupt their Stalio and you kind of win. Because we play Fusion of Fire, we play the Violent Chimera. This card helps us end games. We side the second copy with Super Poly. It helps us end the games in the mirror match and against other decks when we really have to rush to win the game. Like we're losing the resource game, we just Violent Chimera them, win the game. That's all the Salamangreat monsters we play. And now we'll go into the other cards we play. We play the Nightmare Phoenix. Again, against Striker, super useful. Phoenix, pop it back row, draw a card. You know, because it's a fire, you can make Heatleo with it. Heatleo shuffle back, Heatleo shuffle back. That's 3 cards. Out of die +1. I think this card's really good. I think it's incorrect to cut it. It's also a fire, so it's just busted. We play the 1 of Abyss Dweller. Love the card. This is the rank 40 you should be playing. You can make an argument for Baguska, but this really cucks a lot of decks in the format. So I really like playing Abyss Dweller. Also, it's one of my favorite Xyzs ever. In the mirror match, you make Dweller, they lose. You can hard make Dweller by using a regular combo. Yeah, not much to say about Abyss Dweller. Then we play the big boss monster, Borolo Dragon. Helps us out cards we can't target. Helps us out, like, Ultra Guys can't out this card. It helps us deal with other powerful cards. And Borolo, there's some cute stuff you can do if you play other variants, like the Update Jammer to attack twice. Helps us steal a Colossus, steal a Shizuku. Sometimes you can steal your opponent's Dweller and, you know, lock them under Dweller, steal their Baguska. The card is really powerful. It's between this and Boral Sword or Bomber Dragon. I chose Borolo. The last card we play in our extra deck, and it's my favorite card in the extra, is Hida, you know, Fire Tremor, Blaze, whatever. It's a generic, a 2 in our deck at least. It's 1 fire and 1 effect monster. They want to contact CS. We make Hida 1850, so it swings over the Sunlight Wolf and it threatens the Balinks. But the craziest thing about Hida is you can target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, a fire monster, special it to a pointer that, you know, Hida's pointer. You can summon back their Sunlight Wolf, then reincarnate link into your Sunlight Wolf, summon back their Ash Blossom, go into Heatleo. This card is nuts, and it really facilitates Dweller because you can summon back one of their 4s after you've summoned back your Jack Jaguar. Hida's one of my favorite cards in the extra deck, and I think moving forward, it's mandatory to play in this deck. I just love this card. When it gets destroyed, you can also add Gazelle, which is just broken. That's what we play for our extra deck. Moving on to the side deck, guys. Again, side deck you should tailor for your metagame, so I'll be super quick with it. We play the 1 Violet Chimera because we're siding the Super Poly, and the double Chimera like really does come up when you play in the mirror match. I've gone into instances where I went Fusion of Fire, summoned Chimera, couldn't kill him. He Fusion of Fired me, went to battle phase. I Super Poly'd in battle phase, you know, summoned my own Violet Chimera, and it was just game from there. And Super Poly, super ignorant in the mirror match, acts as a, you know, removal. Then we play, it was a mistake, I shouldn't have played this card. I played triple Ghost Reaper, I thought it'd be broken in the mirror match, but it really wasn't. Like, the deck can really play without the Sunlight Wolf, but I drew it like mid-game, and I was just like, oh, well, I skipped my draw phase. This card isn't that great. If you did play it, like, Cherrying Balinks just stops a lot of their plays, they just can't play from there. They're just stranded on a Salamangreat monster, so that's what I would Cherries. Moving forward, though, I wouldn't play it. I was really, you know, wishing that this card was like something like Droll or, I don't know, some other power card instead. I wouldn't play this card moving forward. Probably play more like Super Poly targets. I played a triple evenly matched. Against Striker, you go second. Like, even if you lost the first game, you go second. You side on all your back row hate. You just side on your evenly. You evenly them and you win the game. Kills Draco. Kills everything. This card's broken in our deck because like we don't need a battle phase to really, you know, push through. What are we gonna do in battle phase? 3600 if you don't have Fusion of Fire combo. So you evenly them instead. This card's super insane. I think you need to play it in the current format. Kills Ultrageist, kills Draco, kills Striker. It's a win button. And I think it's better than Red Reboot because, like, I don't like Red Reboot. Red Reboot really forces you to kill your opponent that turn, and sometimes you can't do it. The triple twin twisters, I did not side this in on the mirror match. I only sided this for the Ultrageist or the Striker matchup or the Draco matchup. The card came up against Striker and helped me blow out my opponent. But other than that, like I would not side this for the mirror. I don't think it's really that great in the mirror, but I think against other decks it's insane. And Twin Twisters is super powerful. The card's busted. I think you should side it. Then I play the powerful one of Imperial Order. You flip it against Striker, you win. You flip it against a lot of decks, you win. I sided it in quite a bit. I just didn't see it. But the card is super overpowered, and I think like you can play this in the main deck. I don't know. The card is insane. It says win the game. Last card beside triple Pankratops. I want to main this card. That's how insane this card is. I can't wait for its OTS bump, rarity bump. I don't care. Ulti Pankratops. I need 9. That's on everything. Like the card is nuts. You special it. Pop a card, threaten with 26 on board. This card is so powerful. This card is just as good, if not better, than Thanos Dragon. You can quote me on that. And I really want to play this card in main. I don't need to talk too much about Pankratops. This card ran all over Dusseldorf, ran over all over locals. This card is nuts. So that's it, guys. 42 in main, 15 inside, 15 in the extra. Thank you guys so much for checking out the profile. If you guys, I'm super happy that I could share my OTS experience with you guys. Check out the channel, guys. We have a huge giveaway going up at 2K subscribers. We're giving away a playset of Widow Anchors. Make sure you guys check out the channel. Let us know what you want us to play and profile. Thank you guys. Have a great day.